Hi, my name is Chindalo, and this is the point of the service that we call communion. Now, communion is the time where we reflect on what the cross or Jesus' death means to us. And usually we have one of our beautiful sisters come and share what the cross means to her. Today we have Beth to share what the cross means to her in this time of our life. And she's asked me to read a scripture for you. And it's in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 23 to 24. And it reads, "When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly. He himself bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that we might die to sins and live for righteousness. By his wounds, we have been healed." And with that, I give you Beth.
Thanks, Chindalo. So grateful to share what the cross means to me at this point in my life. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bethany. I'm so grateful that my parents are here. All the way from Queensland in a place called Yandaran. And they look after cattle there, and my sister and my niece is there as well, so please get to know them today. But I'm really privileged just to reflect this last week on what the cross really means to me. And I really love this scripture, because just you see how much Jesus kind of suffered the insults he received, the persecution, the suffering, and yet he just didn't retaliate. He didn't react back, and yet it says that he entrusted himself to God. And I think at this point in my life, I'm really learning how to entrust myself to God. And it's been kind of a roller coaster. I think the start of this year hasn't gone exactly the way I thought it would. I think moving to the east was awesome, and it's just being with new people, a new region, and learning again, and being on campus, which has been great. But it comes with its challenges as well, just learning to get to know new people, trying to learn the dynamic and lead people, and it can be quite difficult. I think also recently going through a breakup has been quite hard. But I think in looking at that, I'm really learning how to entrust myself to God. Through that relationship, I really entrusted myself to the relationship and to a person instead of really trusting God. And I see just from the cross how much Jesus had to rely on God to go through what he was going through. And I think I feel really privileged to have studied the cross this week with Sam, who just got baptized. And just really reflect on the pain that Jesus went through. And I know all of you have been through that study, and just really looking at the hardship that he endured and just his emotions at the start of that he really didn't actually want to die. I think just really convicted me of how much he had to go to God to really be at peace, to endure the cross. And I think it was just really great studying that out and then looking at how much Jesus suffered. And I just sometimes can't believe how he could bring himself to such a point of peace to go through that pain. And I think, just this last week has been a lot. And, I thought I was doing really well and thought I was doing great and could get through this. I'm like, yeah, I've got it. And then I went to the Young Prophets group last Saturday. And, I just all of a sudden got overwhelmed with all my emotion. And, they're going in to do the discussion and talk together, and I just couldn't. I just froze, and I just started crying and letting out my emotion, and I was like, can I go into the room? No, I can't. I just started praying. I'm like, God, I can't do this. Like, help me. And in that moment, I kind of ran away. In my sin, I had to really leave and just go and pray, because I really thought I was stronger than I was, but saw how much I actually needed God in that moment. And whilst it's hard, I'm really grateful. I'm so grateful for just the cross and how much Jesus went through for us, to really die for our sin. And I think just really entrusting that God has me right where I need to be right now. And even I looked up the word entrust, and it means to put into someone to care and protection. To put into someone's care and protection. And when I think about the cross, I'm like, it doesn't really seem like Jesus was very protected in that moment or cared for by God, but seeing that actually suffering and being in so much pain is actually a protection from God, and God actually really cares for me and is protecting me through this time. So I think just to reflect on that, it's really learning how to entrust to God during suffering and during pain. But yeah, I really thank you for letting me share what the cross means to me.